interviewer said, and he said, "Well," he said, "Yeah," he said, "I just found my house here." He said, "So I'm not worried," because he was, "Oh, you worried about being sacked?" "I've just found my house. I've been in digs up to now, so at least for the family, we found a house." And of course, little did he know that later that day he was going to be sacked on
Yeah.
Saturday, a few minutes after the game. I mean,
Mm.
listening to the goals going in, 1-0, 2-0. I think it was a 12:30 game, wasn't it? And I was watching it while I was in a media room at Palace.
Mm.
And you thought, oh, 1-0, he might survive. Two or more, he might not. And the interesting thing is that when the third goal went in, the opposition's fans started singing. They didn't start singing "You're getting sacked in the
In the
morning," which
morning,
is
yeah.
what they were saying. "You're getting sacked in a minute," and of course he was. And they think that's going to be the new chant now. Instead of opposition fans baiting a manager not doing too well with "you're going to get sacked in the morning," it's "you're going to get sacked in a minute," because
In a minute,
that's
yeah.
really a precedent, isn't it? By this Forest owner sacking someone just like that,
Mm.
he's had what 36 days at the club. So yeah, I mean, I sort of, like all of us, I expect we have a measure of sympathy for Postecoglou,
Mm.
but I don't know. He would have known what he was pitching himself up against, or who he was pitching himself up against by going to
Yeah.
Forest. But then, as other pundits have said, Alan Shearer, I think, said when he was asked, "Do you think other managers might not want to go there?" He said, there'll be lines around the block of managers wanting to manage a Premier League team. Forest are a big team. They always have been. They won the Champions League or the European Cup, I think, as it was then. Brian Clough did that for them. They've got a great history and they're a big club. So there'll always be people accepting the role of going there. And it looks like Sean Dyche, doesn't it? I don't know whether he's yet been appointed, but I think it's likely to be Sean Dyche who goes there. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with the next one. Um, yeah, poor old Postecoglou. I mean, I sort of have sympathy for the chap, but I expect again he only had an 18-month contract, I think, which is a bit of an unusual one in football. But
Yeah.
presumably, having been sacked, they'll have to pay off some or all of that contract. So I suppose if you're fed up for being sacked, at least you can look at your bank account again, can't you? It's true though, isn't it? Most people, when they lose a job, where do I get another job? But Premier League football managers, they're multi-millionaires anyway. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
side of life doesn't really
yeah.
concern them.
No, it doesn't, does it? Yeah. They just because well, it's like you said, there'll be managers queuing up to replace him or take on a Premier League side. There'd also be clubs queuing up to take him on because it's being recycled into managers go and then they find a different club and then
You
so
think, though, but do you think you say that? Do you think another Prem club will come in for him
I think it'd probably be Rangers or some club in Scotland
in Scotland? Yeah,
or
yeah,
Wales. Premier Premier League clubs, I think they're okay for now. I don't think there's any.
yeah.
I don't think there's any problems in any quarters at the moment.
Wolves.
Um,
What about Wolves? I mean, they've not won a game yet, have they? I think they've got 2 points right at the
well,
bottom.
Wolves are just. I think Wolves are quite lucky to see themselves still up in the Premier League. You know what I mean? They're like Southampton and Norwich and all that. They're not. They're not particularly buoyant. They
Right.
don't boost any they have no they don't boost any arsenals of players to compete in the Premier League. So I think they're quite lucky because they've sold Kunha, can't, aren't they?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
who's left there, you know? So Wolves, I think more like West Ham, but West Ham's got a manager now, man. You know,
Well, they got Nuno, haven't they?
Nuno, yeah. So they've got Nuno. So
I think.
Wolves, yeah, go on.
Oh no, go on, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Wolves. It's like Birmingham or even Bournemouth. You know, they're quite lucky. And I don't I don't mean
I don't.
it in a disrespectful way, but come on, Wolves, Wolverhampton FC. I don't know if they're able to survive. I don't think they'll survive this season. So I think they're not going to do any spending now. They're just going to prepare for the lower league. What's it called? EFL. Is that
The championship.
championship? Yes. So they're just going to
Mm.
prepare for the championship now. They're not. I don't think they haven't got it in them to fight any. They haven't got in them to fight anything. They're not buying players. They're not really. They're not really. You don't hear
I
them.
mean, they've been up for a few years, though, haven't they? It's not as if they've just come up.
Oh, I
They've done
know. Yeah,
okay the last 2 or 3 years.
I know. What I'm saying is, their luck's probably run out.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think they've
Yeah,
done well the last
they
couple of
have.
years. So
They have done really
it's a bit,
well.
I think, a bit harsh to say they're obviously not a Premier League club, but I do know what you mean. I think
Uh,
there is within the Premier League there are
hmm,
probably two or even three leagues. You know, you've
yeah,
got the people who will generally occupy the bottom 5 or 6 places. Then you've got the mid-table teams, and then you've got the top six or so. And I think in a way, going back to Palace, we've been viewed as a bit of a mid-table team
hmm,
at best in the last few years, really. Um, Before that, tended to flirt with relegation, but now I think Palace have made the move up into being hopefully a top half team. You can see there's
yeah.
been a real impact, but yeah, I don't think that would be beyond a team like Wolves. Yeah, they're probably not investing because
Hmm,
teams in the lower side of things in the Premier League don't really have the resources. You
uh,
can't defeat the financial fair play rules depending on your ground
hmm.
size, your turnover, and yeah, it's hard, as you rightly say. Teams like Southampton and others